Welcome to the match analysis of match number 47 of IPL 2025. It's Delhi Capitals against KKR. The match is going to be happening in Delhi's Arun Jaitley Stadium. It's a high scoring venue, and both teams are coming off the back of a little bit of poor form, especially Delhi Capitals after the blistering start that they got. KKR in the previous game, they were hit for about 200 in the Eden Gardens, and the match was washed out. So we haven't really seen how their new batting lineup has fared with the introduction of someone like Ramanola Gurbaz ahead of Quinton de Kock. So I think for both teams, the starting lineup should be the same. I think Faf du Plessis will continue. I'd want Dushmanta Chamira to be dropped in place of Mohit Sharma purely because of the experience and the quality that Mohit Sharma has. If not Mohit Sharma, if Natarajan is fit, then it has to be Natarajan over both of them. For KKR, I think they're trying to experiment with Chetan Sakaria coming in with the ball. I think that's the right call. He's a quality pace bowler, and it'll really help somewhat with the inexperience of someone like Harshit Rana or Vaibhav Arora. So, and I think Ramanola Gurbaz has to be backed for a few more games to really see how well he does. So there's no point bringing Quinton de Kock back after just a game. Okay, so let's get into the analysis. The venue is a high scoring venue. The average first inning score this year has been 185, but typically the average first inning score needs to be about 200 to 210. Last year it was 235, and the average winning score is about 250 to 220. So I think in the last 15 games, the team batting first has won 9 times, and the team batting second has won just 6 times. So there's a huge advantage to batting first in Delhi. It's also partly due to the fact that the scores are so high that the scoreboard pressure also increases on the team batting second. Also, the fact that dew is not really there and the pitch slows down that little bit, so it really helps out. I think something interesting that you'll have to note down here is that the dimensions of the pitch are small, so it's going to favor your big hitters, and the outfield is pretty quick, so even players who time the ball are going to have a pretty good time. So if you want to get to a total of about 200 to 210, how do you do that batting first? And as a bowling team, how do you counter that? So the first phase is overs 1 to 6. How do you tackle that? You want to be 60 to 65 for 1, or if you want to lose the extra wicket, then 72 for 2. How we'll see probably Delhi come up and bat in this phase is probably look to get to a 60 for 1, because Faf du Plessis will be the one who takes on the bowlers, and then Abhishek Porel plays second fiddle to him. He's capable of taking on the bowlers. We saw that in their previous game against RCB, where he really took them on, gave them that blistering start because Faf du Plessis wasn't able to get going. Then KL Rahul at 3, who likes to take his time. So maybe a 56 to 60 for 1, and then they look to push through the middle overs. Maybe today things change because someone like Vaibhav Arora has been expensive this year. Harshit Rana has been expensive this year. They've not been in the best of form. So don't be surprised if you see them if both Faf and Abhishek Pural look to go hard in the power play and they aim for that 60 for 1. KKR on the other hand, they have Sunil Narayan and Ramanola Gurbaz. It's pretty obvious. They're going to go hard from the beginning, try and get to that 70 for 2, 66 for 2 kind of a place where the momentum's really been built up and their more experienced middle order can take the game into their hands. So here there's no real advantage to bowling the spinner except maybe someone like an Akshar Patel who can bring the ball into the batsman, bowl tight lines if runs are going. So unless if your pace bowlers are bowling well, there's no real reason you're not going to get a lot of grip, especially in the power play. There's no reason unless there are runs going to bring spinners into the power play. Akshar Patel is probably the only bowler who can bowl here. Maybe Sunil Narayan gets an over. I don't see Varun Chakravarti bowling here. So overall, I think here I would give a slight edge to DC because of the fact that they have someone like Mitchell Stark, Mukesh Kumar is in form. If Dushmanta Chamira plays, he will have a bit of advantage on this surface. And for KKR, their bowlers haven't really come to form. Gurbaz and Sunil Narayan are a new batting pair, and Sunil Narayan just hasn't hit the ball this year. So probably that's a major reason why. I think one point to note is when Ajinkya Rahane comes in, I think he's going to hit a lot today. Ajinkya Rahane will definitely score a 50 to 60 today. because the pitch is a true wicket. If you can time the ball, hit the gaps, the outfield is quick, the dimensions are small, and if you time the ball, you're able to get a six very easily on this pitch. So I think Ajinkya Rahane is going to be a very crucial player. Furthermore, I think Faf du Plessis has gotten ball in that one game. Abhishek Paral seems to be striking the ball pretty well, and I think if that start goes well, then I think KL Rahul can also take the game from there. He's been hitting runs, so that's why I would give a slight edge to DC in this phase. So moving on, the second phase is overs 7 to 15. So here you want to be about 72 for 2 or 72 for 1, depending on how you went in the previous phase. Yes, wickets will go here. Yes, maybe 2 wickets go here or 1 wicket goes here. You have to try and complement your initial phase. So if you had gotten about, let's say KKR, they get off to a flying start, they get a 70 for 2. Here they would probably want to complement that with a 65, 66 for 1. Let me explain why. Because if you look at the economy and the bowling averages, the best bowlers have been leg spinners. Varun Chakravarti and Rahul Chahar have had a great time on this pitch, and they're a major reason why leg spinners have done so well. Amit Mishra historically has done very well. Yes, the finger spinners have a role. Their role is more containing. Their averages are quite high, and the pace bowlers usually get hit all over the place because really their use cases in places where you'd see runs going at about 10 to 12 runs and over in that range. So how well you use your spinners is going to be very crucial in this game. The Chinaman in Kuldeep Yadav is going to be very crucial for Delhi Capitals. He's the highest wicket taker at this venue over the last 3 years, or the last 3 IPL seasons. And what you'll see is that KKR's batting has not really done that well against spin. Venkatesh Iyer has struggled against spin initially. Ajinkya Rahane has not been hitting them that well as he's done against pace. Spin has been a little bit of a struggle, and the lower order of KKR has been exposed too early too many times. Ankush Raghuvanshi has done well. To be very honest, Ankush Raghuvanshi has played pace and spin very well. He's a good youngster, but against the pace attack of Kuldeep Yadav and Vipraj Nigam, Vipraj Nigam is a leg spinner. Kuldeep Yadav is a Chinaman, and the data shows that both types of bowlers have done pretty well on this pitch. So again, I think, but on the other side, if you look at it, there's Sunil Narayan and Varun Chakravarti, who Sunil Narayan is a mystery spinner, so that's always going to be useful on a track like Delhi where you need to contain the runs. And Varun Chakravarti is also a mystery spinner, but more of a wrist spinner. So wrist spinner, leg spinner has done very well on this pitch. So the middle over matchup is going to be very interesting. How someone like KL Rahul or one of the openers really take the game into the 10th to 12th over once the ball stops giving in to the spin a little bit. That's going to be interesting to see. So I think the tactic from both teams is probably to go hard at the start. That 7 to 12 phase, that 7 to at least 12 phase, you have to slow down a little bit. That 5 to 6 overs, you need to slow down. You need to make sure you don't lose wickets. Because what we saw in the match against RCB, DC versus RCB, is that despite the fact that RCB lost initial wickets, they were able to maintain a run rate of easily close to 7 or 8 without losing wickets, despite how good the DC spinners are. And in the end, they just ran through the DC bowlers. So a score like 160 is not going to be enough. You need to score 190 to 200. Definitely, that's a fighting score. But how you negotiate the spinners through the middle overs is really going to determine who comes out on top. So all said and done, I think I would say it's a 50-50 even match. But the team that comes out on top today, it's definitely going to be the team which has bowled the better spin. The last phase is a slogging phase. There's not much that needs to be said. You need to score about 66 in the last 6 overs. Anything within 70 to 75 is chaseable in the last 6 overs, with about 3 wickets in hand. Typically, you lose about 2.5 to 3 wickets. So you need to keep at least 2 genuine hitters and a pinch hitter towards the end. So what I mean by that is probably Ashutosh Sharma, Tristan Stubbs, and Vipraj Nigam. So one of Ashutosh Sharma, Tristan Stubbs needs to be on the crease. If you have him in the bank, great. And then until Vipraj Nigam. So that's the kind of place you need to set yourself up. For KKR, probably Rinku Singh on the crease and Andre Russell and Ramandeep. Don't be surprised if they drop Ramandeep and bring in someone like Anupul Roy, who's more of a containing spinner. because I think KKR's batting has been the on paper it looks pretty good, and the fact that Ramandeep has not been in form, it could inspire them to make a couple of changes. So with the ball, I think KKR lack a proper death bowler. Chetan Sakaria is there. The experience will show a little bit. Harshit Rana is not that great. Vaibhav Arora is not that great. Given the fact that Tristan Stubbs has been hitting the ball so cleanly, and someone or the other from the middle order like Akshar Patel or KL Rahul really bats into the middle overs, it will mean that it's going to be very difficult for the KKR bowlers to bowl here. So when DC are batting, I expect DC to easily get 65 to 70 runs, which means that having looked at this, DC can probably say, okay, I'm happy with a 64, 65 through the middle overs. If it means that I set myself up to be at about what 120 after 14 overs, 120 to 130. That's the range I want to be in, and then I can score 70 runs in the end if I've only lost 3 wickets. So that's probably the way that DC should go, 2 to 3 wickets, and then they look to score a 70 because KKR's death batting looks a little weak. On the other hand, KKR have to go hard throughout because it's really difficult for them to rely on their death batting because someone like Rinku Singh has not had a great time this year. Andy Russell ball's just not been hitting his bat, and Ramandeep, we've talked about it. He's not at all been in form, which means that the in the middle overs probably Venkatesh Iyer and Ajinkya Rahane, Ankush Raghuvanshi too. They'd have to carry a lot of the weight. You can't expect someone like Sunil Narayan and Ranmanullah Gurbaz to really carry the innings through because both of them are very similar batsmen in that they want to go and hit the ball hard. Personally, I wouldn't open the batting with Sunil Narayan. I'd want someone like Ajinkya Rahane to come in and open the batting because it gives you a little bit of stability. Having two types of the same player opening the batting could mean that you end up 21, 30 for 2 in 3 overs. You have someone like Venkatesh Iyer or Ankush Raghuvanshi coming in to bat very early, and it really puts a lot of pressure on players who haven't really been in form this year. So if you ask me, I'd probably send Sunil Narayan back as a pinch hitter and open the batting with Ajinkya Rahane and Ramanullah Gurbaz. So I think overall in this phase, I think I would again give an edge to Delhi Capitals. Also given the fact that Mukesh Kumar has been bowling well in the death, apart from that match against RCB, obviously where he got slogged, but he's been doing decently in the death. If they bring in Mohit Sharma or Natarajan, it's going to be very very obvious. The edge it'll heavily favor DC here. So I think overall, I think I would give DC the edge of about 54-46. My fantasy picks for today from Delhi Capitals will be KL Rahul. Definitely, you cannot pick a fantasy team without KL Rahul. Faf du Plessis, I think he will hit big today. Vipraj Nigam, Kuldeep Yadav, and Tristan Stubbs. From KKR, I'd pick Ajinkya Rahane, Sunil Narayan, Varun Chakravarti, and Ankush Raghuvanshi. Those were the 9 to 10 picks that I feel you should take for today. That was the analysis. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more.